Welcome to OpinionJournal.com. I'm James Freeman. Here to tell us about the Endgame for Israel is Bret Stephens, the Global View columnist at the Journal. Bret, thanks for joining us.
Good to be here.
Now, you said you thought about writing no Endgame for Israel because that seems to be the conventional wisdom now. But there is an Endgame. There is a strategy here, and you've laid it out for us.
Yeah, the torrent of supposedly expert commentary saying that Israel can't possibly defeat Hamas in Gaza is approaching the pre-surge levels of Iraq defeatism. I think it's as wrong now as it was then. That isn't to say that Israel doesn't have to be smart about how it pursues its military campaign, but so far the Israelis are giving every indication that they're not going to repeat the mistakes that led to the poor result of the 2006 war with Hezbollah in Lebanon. They've started their ground campaign early. They're resisting calls for a premature ceasefire, and they seem to be going about fighting Hamas in a very smart way.
The good resolution here is obviously no more missiles coming into southern Israel, but also does Hamas have to be eliminated as a governing power there, or is it enough to just stop the violence?
Well, look, you're never going to eliminate Hamas as a kind of a movement in Gaza. It's part of a kind of broad stream of Islamic revivalism. It's essentially an offshoot of the Muslim Brotherhood. But that doesn't mean that you can't make it impossible for them not only to fire missiles at Israel, but really to govern effectively in Gaza. And you'll remember that Hamas came to power in Gaza following a civil war with the constituted authority there, which was Fatah, and it is in effect an illegitimate government, and people ought to, beyond the fact that it's a terrorist organization, people ought to say this is an illegitimate government and it needs to go. And it's easily within Israel's power to make it impossible for them to govern, to go after their leaders, to go after their arms catches in a kind of consistent way without necessarily going in full force into Gaza City and having to engage in this kind of very dangerous urban fighting that would lead to a lot of Israeli military losses as well as Palestinian civilian casualties.
Great. Thanks, Bret. And thanks to you for OpinionJournal.com. I'm James Freeman.